Welcome back to Two Crew, coming to you from New York City. Man, that UFC 267 was such a great event. Teixeira, the new champ at 42.
Told you.
Yeah. I was wrong on that one, I'll tell you that. And to get into who's the smartest and who's not so smart, I went 5-1. This Lewis right here went 4-2, which is pretty good because he was on his way to 3-3. If John Barkovich would have won.
He picked all the favorites. I like an underdog.
And listen, to some of our boys, you know, they wanted to come at me just because I picked all the favorites, and I said, listen, I'm not picking the favorites. I'm picking the winners. And you guys want to tell me that I'm picking only the favorites, so we're gonna see if I only pick the favorites on this card because I don't think I am. It's gonna be pretty close, but let's start it off with Marlon Chito Vera versus Frankie the Answer Edgar. We have Chito Vera that still feels like he is a bit of
kind of coming into his own.
Yeah, coming into his own, a bit of an up and comer, even though he's still considered somewhat of a vet in the UFC. He's been around. He's only 28 years old, facing a 40-year-old veteran, one of the most well-respected fighters in the entire UFC roster, no matter what division you're in. And this is definitely going to be a good one. So we have minus 165 for Marlon Chito Vera and plus 145. And we already know this is going to fluctuate because Frankie Edgar has one of the biggest fan bases in the entire UFC. So as long as those fans keep putting money up on him, the line is definitely going to change and get a little closer. So, I mean, we can start it, right? All right, so I'll start with Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but so is Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar has a very good foundation in wrestling. Vera has been seen to, I wouldn't say wrestle because in the Sean O'Malley fight, he did capitalize on Sean O'Malley falling to the floor, or did he knock him to the floor? I would say he fell to the floor because of the foot injury, and
yeah, but I mean, Vera did it. Come on.
Yeah, Vera did. Yeah, Vera
caught him on that nerve and
yeah
took him down.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Yeah. He took him down.
Vera beat him fair and square. I know O'Malley says he didn't lose, but
I do agree.
I stopped it. That's the fight.
Yeah.
I'm
so
an O'Malley fan.
the leg kick, right? And what's crazy about that fight is that specifically O'Malley was the one initiating all the leg kicks. He was the one attacking the leg, attacking the calf, attacking the body with his kicks offensively. And eventually Marlon Vera said, all right, we can play that game. Went ahead, started with his leg kicks, eventually hit the nerve, and the rest of it is history. O'Malley falls to the ground, and Vera has one of the most violent ground and pound that you can find. He is violent. For those that don't believe me or don't remember that, look it up. Vera versus O'Malley. This guy the elbows were disgusting. And Herb Dean was the referee for that fight, and Herb Dean jumped in really quickly. So the comment, I think Joe Rogan didn't like it. Thought it was a kind of like an early stoppage, but I don't think so. It was disgusting. Because of that, because of the ground and pound, I don't think Frankie Edgar is going to try to take down Vera, even though he himself has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, because Vera is long. Fun fact, Marlon Vera has a longer leg reach than Stipe Miocic. Did you know that? Yeah, Marlon Vera has longer legs than Stipe Miocic does. So that just lets you know how long Marlon Vera is. I don't think Frankie Edgar is trying to go down onto the mat with him. I think he's going to try to keep it standing. Because of that, I think that the 2-inch reach advantage that Marlon Vera has, here it is, 70.5 versus 68 inches. So 2.5 reach advantage, 2.5 inch reach advantage according to Tapology. So I think that that's going to play a role. The leg kicks, once again, super long legs, one of the longest in his division. He's going to utilize those leg kicks because he doesn't really want to muck it up with Frankie Edgar's boxing. And another thing, I believe that Frankie Edgar, even though he's very, very talented, super skilled, I think his age has caught up to him. I feel like his chin is now questionable. I wouldn't even say questionable. I think it's not that good. I don't think his chin is not that good. In his defense, this guy fights monsters. He fights the best of the best. You go through his last 10 opponents, this guy is fighting the best of the best, and we can actually do that right now. All right. So we have Sandhagen, Munoz. We have Sung Jung. We have Holloway. We have Swanson. Swanson sometimes decides to look like an assassin, this guy. Ortega, Rodriguez, Jeremy Stevens, Aldo, Chad Mendes, Faber, Penn back in the day, Charles Oliveira. You know, we go back to 2013, and this guy is fighting the best of the best talent that the UFC can find. I still don't think it's going to matter because I believe that Marlon Vera is just a fresher fighter, the longer fighter, the fighter that mentally can get into his opponent's mind and maybe, I wouldn't say he can scare Frankie Edgar, but I feel like he can make Frankie Edgar think on his feet instead of just being fluid and reactionary in the octagon. And because of that, I'm picking Marlon Vera all day. And I'll be honest, I think this is going to be a first or early second round finish, either by knockout or ground and pound. I don't see him choking out Frankie Edgar or like catching him in a guillotine or anything, but I think it's going to be a violent stoppage early in the fight. That's my pick.
So for Frankie Edgar, it seems like the UFC has just been throwing him these prospects that are just absolute dogs and monsters. I mean, but one thing, you know, Frankie Edgar, the answer, you can't really count him out. So, you know, when Yair Rodriguez was coming up, UFC decided to go ahead and feed Yair Rodriguez to Frankie Edgar. And I say feed him because literally that Frankie Edgar just dismantled him. Frankie Edgar is a very savvy vet, and he has really, really crisp boxing to go along with his wrestling. I think he definitely has a few answers for Marlon Vera, for sure, in my opinion. So, I mean, I give the slight edge to Frankie Edgar. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I've been a Frankie Edgar fan for a very long time. So, if Frankie could get on the inside, maybe just neutralize that reach advantage that Marlon Vera does have, I think, you know, he can outbox and outsmart him pretty much because Frankie Edgar is a crafty vet. He's had that unfortunate highlight loss against Corey Sandhagen with that flying knee, but I think he gets he puts it together this time, and I think he puts out a good performance, and I'm gonna kind of give the edge over to Frankie Edgar to take the win. I'd say maybe with a decision.
All right, there you go. So Big Lou thinks it's a decision victory on Frankie Edgar's side. I believe that it is going to be a first or early second round, either knockout finish or ground and pound, violent ground and pound finish for Marlon Vera on the slight favorite side. On another hand, if you disagree or agree, please leave a comment down below. Leave us a thumbs up, like. Please click the subscribe button and alerts, turn on notifications so that you know when we share a video.
Please, we're trying to get sponsorships.
we're trying to get some sponsorships out here. Let's see if maybe I don't know what sponsorships. We're not gonna get Lamborghini to sponsor us, but maybe somebody fun, somebody good, right? So we're new, we're up and comers, and hopefully, you know, our content is good enough for you to come back and watch us. And remember, 5-1 last week, 4-2 last week. That's not that bad. We know a little bit of something about this MMA for UFC. So yeah. So I guess that's it.